Every year, Ash Wednesday rolls around, and every year, all the churches swell with crowds of people eager to be marked as we begin this observance of Lent. Receiving the ashes today, it serves a number of purposes. First, it proclaims to the whole world that we are Catholic Christian people. It tells others that we are preparing for Easter. We're embarking on this 40-day journey of fasting and prayer and almsgiving. And significantly, it announces that the light of Christ burning within us is not as bright as it should be because it's been darkened by dust. We need to bring forth that light to be ready for the great feast of Easter. All of this is a vital part of our Lent, as it is every year. But you know what? This year, let's not let Lent be the same as it is every year. Because, our world has changed too much for that. Last week, Father Scott and I were discussing how we here in the United States, we here in New York, actually, we here, right here in Coxsackie, we have, all of us, for the most part, won the global lottery. We have to pay attention to that. By sheer luck, through no influence or power of our own, other than random coincidence, we find ourselves free from daily bombings, mass starvations, and gruesome executions at the hands of global thugs and terrorists. To me, that makes Powerball seem kind of meager. Now today, we will be confessing Christ, silently proclaiming his passion, death, and resurrection on our foreheads. But let's also proclaim something else. That the suffering and death of our global brothers and sisters will not be in vain. Let's also proclaim that we will be worthy disciples of faith that those people have suffered and died for. Let us also proclaim that over the next 40 days, we who are dust will strive to become something more. Witnesses to what we believe, bearers of the light of faith, beacons of Christ in a terrified and terrorized world. When we leave here this day, we will be marked with ashes. But let us remember others around the world who are also marked for suffering and persecution and death. Let us bear our ashes into the world as a sign of solidarity and faith and hope for all those whose lives have turned to dust in the national and international inferno of poverty and violence. Let us carry with us a prayer in our hearts for all the suffering men, women, and children locally in this country and abroad, especially those who, for no other reason than the random coincidence of their birth, face hardships and persecutions that we cannot begin to imagine. Their lives are a continual 24/7, 365 days of hard Lent. And so let us pray that by God's grace and our prayer and our almsgiving and our fasting,